What's up, guys? So, update on the Charger. We are making headway. This car is ready to drive, mechanically speaking. The only thing that's holding me up from driving it is the seats. I haven't done the upholstery on the seats, which I'm going to do in the next segment. But I wanted to give you an update as to where we are with everything overall. Got the tires and wheels off just to run through the gears when it's idling, just to make sure clutch engagement's correct and everything is working as it should. And if the brakes will stop it, that'd be a good thing too. But that is where I still have to cut these guys, and I have to go get some stainless rod to weld them back together. So I'm basically just going to do a pie cut right here because they don't follow the contour of the quarter panel. And as I mentioned in a previous segment, that I'm not sure if it's the quarter or these things. They are aftermarket, of course. Not as bad on the front, but hopefully I don't have to cut those on the front. But overall, they look pretty good. There's only a little bit of a gap. Not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of these, but they came on the car, so I'm running them. All the glass is in the car. We have a rear run channel that I accidentally threw away because I thought they were disposable and that they sold new ones. They do not. The rear run channel is the one that is on the back side of the glass in each door, and I have two for the right door because that's another factory door, but not from this car that I had to purchase. So I have a spare, so I have two of those. So we're currently in the middle of restoring those. But everything else is in the door, except for the door handles, or the outside door handles. If you can look closely, you can see how everything has been fully restored. All of the mechanisms in there are legit, nice, and completely restored. It's kind of hard to see, which is why we didn't really do a lot of filming on this stuff. You can see all the adjustment nuts and mechanisms. A lot of stuff going on inside these doors. It's annoying and really cool at the same time. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here's some more. I did have to replace the window regulator. This one had just given up the ghost due to just being the driver's side, and those take the most abuse, as you can probably imagine. We still have a lot of little stuff to button up, but the goal right now is to get this car running and moving on its own. It obviously runs, as you heard it. Still have to wire up my column harness. The column is currently out for a little bit of touch-up from the reassembly. The bearing is, the lower bearing on the column is so tight that when we slid it back over the shaft, it actually took some paint with it. So now that it's assembled, we're just touching it up right now. About to put the dash pad on. I have that in the box right there from Classic. I ordered a new headlight switch, which I've been waiting on forever. And let's see what else. There's just a ton of stuff going on. My head's spinning. Here is the front suspension and everything. Everything is pretty much ready to go. What's really weird is I've noticed some of these cars have these guys on the inside of the inner fender well. This one appears to work very well on the outside, so maybe some of you experts out there can tell me if that's wrong. I don't see how this would fit on the inside. So anyway, speak up if you know. The inner splash guards, I have them. Just looking for fasteners. I can't remember what I did with them. These fender trim, this actually went on great, and this is an OEM fender, so what do you know? So maybe it's the aftermarket fender that was screwing me up. Battery is currently disconnected from the main cables, but all the little stuff is still hooked up. I still have to time this thing and fine-tune it, but that's fine. I need to order a windshield wiper or a motor. I have a 3-speed. There's only one guy that I know of that rebuilds these things, and he'll sell you a brand new one if you don't have one for $600, or you can send your parts or your numbers matching one from your car to him, and for $500 he'll rebuild it and send it back. Pretty cool deal. Awfully expensive for what that is, but hey, it's Charger stuff. So it is what it is, as they say. What else? This side is about the same. All pretty much tidied up except for the inner fender splash guard. As you can see, my refrigerant lines and hot water lines there. I still haven't really set the camber. I just kind of eyeballed it. I still need to do the toe once we get it back on the ground, but I want to run it through the gears first when it's up on the stand. So that's primarily why we have it up on jack stand, so I can run it through the gears, bleed the air out of the power steering pump, and make sure everything's cool before we put it down on the ground, because it's entirely inaccessible when it's sitting on the ground because it's so low. But I haven't fixed or modified this inner fender trim. This side's a little bit darker, but you get the overall gist here. You see the lines in there, and our exhaust, which came out really cool, fit really well for a 3-inch system. I was pleasantly surprised. Still have to put this trim on, and then the charger logo that goes on the tail panel is right there. But the reverse lights are in, and they don't have gaps around them anymore. I think they were just loose. Tailpipes, I'm still out on the tailpipes. I'm not sure about those. There's really not a whole lot of options because of the risk of carbon monoxide. So I might just have to live with them. That's why I painted them black, so they don't catch the eye as much. But as you can see, on this side, or both sides, dual exhaust, it kind of hides in there when there's no light shining on it. So I guess I'm just gonna have to live with it. It actually sounds a lot more mild than I thought it would with this long exhaust. But my dyno guy swears that he's seen 600 plus wheel horsepower with a 2.5-inch system all the way back. So in other words, exhaust does not hinder performance, to a degree, of course. So yeah, so that's where we're at. We're on a dead mission to get this thing running. I'm going to show you guys. I've only upholstered, let the record show, I've only upholstered one bench seat for a Chevy C10 in my entire life. So I am going to let you watch me struggle with the assembly of the chairs and doing all of the upholstery. I'm going to tackle it. Hopefully it goes well. These are the seat foam. They're actually for the seats, for the two front buckets. And then this is the upper seat cover for the back. This is the rear seat installation kit, which has insulation in that what is that stuff? Not beanbag. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. This stuff, the Briar Burka, I don't know, whatever. So I have, and these kits are pretty detailed. They come with all this OEM, like, looks like straw wrapped wire, and then of course the same material as that. We'll just call it that. And I have some hog rings left over from the last installation of this seat cover material. These are pretty cheap, hog rings. And if you have a hog ring pair of pliers, it makes it a whole lot easier than trying to struggle with like a needle nose pair, because you have to go around these little plastic pipings in here as an anchor. So you got a hog ring around that to a metal structure. Excuse me. And this little tail gets tucked in as well. So yeah, you're gonna watch me struggle with all of the material. I've kind of let this sit out here for a little while, just letting it relax. But it looks like I got to use a heat gun here to kind of get these pleats to lay down a little flatter. I'm probably gonna put it out in the sun right before I install it, but I still have to lay out the foam, which is this. This is the foam for the back seat. The covers are on the way for the front seats, which I just ordered last night, so those are a few days out. I have a nice factory mirror here that I need to polish. It's actually in really good condition, and all the cables are good still. The old mechanism there. These are actually really, I only have one, unfortunately, so I need to get another one. But I need to put this where it's safe and I don't throw it on the ground somehow. So yeah, that is, oh, and then trim. Trying to beat the dents out of this trim, and it wasn't going as well as I had hoped. So I'm putting that aside for now and just getting this car on the road driving. And then I can put trim, whatever, at my own leisure. So the whole point of getting these cars on the road is just get them running and driving, and then you can just do all the little piddly stuff at your leisure. But then you have a running and driving car. So that's really the most important thing to me. Being able to move this thing and drive it. Still got to insure it and register it and all that still, but in fact I don't even know if this is stolen. Yeah, I have the title from Oklahoma where I bought it, but I never went to the DMV and said, hey, I own this car, because California's weird, and they say if you wait a year, I know this will not make sense to anybody, and it didn't to me, but if you wait a year after you purchase it, you don't have to pay fees. Why? I have no idea. So hopefully this car is not stolen, because I just restored it from somebody and they'll be really happy. But that would be devastating, clearly devastating. So anyway, let's all hope that doesn't happen, but you'll see it on camera if it does. I will show you guys everything as we normally do, almost too much sometimes, I know. So anyway, so I'm gonna get this dash back unbolted and do the old zip tie trick to pull it away, and so it's in a position to where I can put this dash pad on. That'll look really nice, and it'll be a lot easier than doing it on my back underneath, going through all the wiring and stuff. So here we go.